And uh, if anyone has a question.
I have a question, Stuart. It's Christine.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. In these trying world times and climate times, do you believe that there are spiritual energies or entities that are trying to help or guide us besides our centering ourselves in our own practice?
You know, yeah, I'm sure there are entities guiding us, but how are you going to get their guidance unless you can connect with them and get centered inside yourself and open so they can teach you what to do? There are always entities in the cosmos that are trying to guide us. Problem with people is that they don't listen, they don't know how to open, they don't know how to connect to these entities. There's also nature guiding us here. I mean, all of this stuff, COVID and climate change, it's all nature saying enough already. It's enough. I put up with all this human bullshit now for 1,000 years, and I finally have gotten tired. And I'll give you COVID. I'll give you climate change. I'll give you hurricanes and fires until people start to listen and start living here more consciously, and not through greed and not through extracting from the earth all of these minerals and stuff that destroying our planet. I mean, that really is the greatest guidance right there, nature. And I think everything that's going on today, all of this craziness that's going on, is nature finally said, it's enough already. Here, this is what I'll give you. And if you want to destroy the earth, it doesn't matter. We'll start all over again somewhere else. And hopefully there'll be more conscious people, more conscious entities, whatever they are, living there. And yes, there are cosmic guides. They've been, throughout history, throughout thousands of years, people have connected with these guides, but you have to have training. You have to know how to do it. Your job, my job, is to build a system inside that enables me to connect with these gods, with these cosmic entities. Otherwise, it's just bullshit, more bullshit, Yeah, they're cosmic, and so what? Mm-hmm. They're sitting up there twiddling their thumbs because 98% of the people on this planet are unconscious. And I think all of that works together. I mean, I've repeated, 150 times already. Our job here is to build a system inside that enables us to connect with spirit. That is the work of human beings. You understand? And people don't do that. I mean, I once had a student, he would come to class about every 3 weeks. And if somebody would tell him there was something he could buy, 1,000 miles from there, within a half hour, he made a reservation on a plane to go there and get it. You understand? It depends on what your primary needs are. And money is a big factor. People will do anything for money. I mean, they're destroying the earth because of money, greed, So, I think that really is the problem right there. People have to do the work on themselves so they can be guided by these entities in the universe that are here to guide us, to a much more conscious way of living. And until people do that, whether it's what we do or, this is not the only thing, other thing, but they have to do something that builds a system inside that enables them to connect with those entities. Otherwise, it's all just, essays in a book. There's no meaning, unless people make it living experience. And you'd see if people would do this, how fast this earth would change. I mean it. Things would change. Instead of the Taliban versus, they'd all sit around and say, okay, let's go pray to Allah, you know? We're all children of Allah, instead of it's me versus, well, you know, it's all greed, power, who controls, you know, who's right. And it destroys living here. Instead of, all right, we're all Muslims, let's go to the temple and pray. Let's go to the mosque and pray. You know, we believe in the same God.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, I talk about this to where I'm getting tired of talking about it, about the job of what people have to do. And I may be talking to the wrong people, because all of you come here and you're doing inner work. Most people, you know, they come back at night, they watch television, they'll go out and have dinner, you know, there's no inner work. So you have an unconscious planet. I mean, with this hurricane we just had here, I mean, if you turn on the news, you think the world was coming to an end. Literally, you know, I mean, that's how crazy they made it. Nothing happened. We had a rainy day in Connecticut. That's what happened. Meanwhile, on television, the world was coming to an end. Literally, it was that kind of intensity. And I know I was telling Pat, when I was a kid, it used to snow, we rejoiced. We rejoiced. It was the best day. The schools were closed. We could have snowball fights and build snowmen and go sleigh riding. You know, today, if it snows, the world is coming to an end. Maybe it's a good thing if the world did come to an end and start all over again. Start this process of evolution all over again. No, I'm just kidding. The world is not going to come to an end. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask?
I'm reading Rudy. Prior to reading it, when I meditate with Nityananda and Rudy's pictures, many times I'll see a blue light, very vivid. And then you wrote something about the blue world, and there was a real connect. So could you talk about the blue world?
Well, this was a thing that Muktananda used to talk about, was the blue world. And I did work with that. And what I discovered, the color blue is a healing color. You know, when I did and do healing with people, I always draw down from the cosmos the color blue, and it does healing. It really extracts tension from people. It heals diseases. It's a very powerful color. Now, whether Muktananda, you know, talked about the blue world, I don't think so. But when I did that work, this is what I came up with. That light, I mean, even in Tibetan Buddhism, the medicine Buddha is always painted blue in Tibetan Buddhism. He has a kind of a cup in his hand and he's painted blue. And I began to realize that that really is the color of healing, blue. And I've used it in just about every healing session I've ever done with anyone. And trying to experience what Muktananda was talking about, this is what I came up with. I mean, whether he meant something else or something, whether there's a galaxy of cities sitting somewhere in a blue world that we all are trying to reach, No, I don't know. I mean, I've never been interested in that kind of thing. I've been interested in kind of doing bodhisattvic work on the earth and how all of these teachings can manifest as a way of helping people and helping myself grow and get closer to God. So that's what came to me, is that the blue light is a light, you know, it illuminates and nurtures, you know, blocks, tensions, diseases in people. It extracts tension, and it really helps people to overcome those kind of problems. Now, is there a world, the blue world, where there are a bunch of siddhas that are on vacation or something? I don't know what they're doing there. It's very possible, you know, but it wasn't something that I worked with because I needed something else for my own life. And I never cared about, you know, some world of siddhas and highly evolved beings that are there that we're going to reach someday. I always thought we have to deal with this problem on the earth. I am here to grow and to get my enlightenment here. And I am here to truly do this kind of work and to use whatever tools become available to attain that. So I'm not sure I've answered your question, but that's the best I can do on that, you know.
That was a real connect there. That was a really great answer, and that's grounded. I really enjoyed that and got a lot from it. Thank you.
You know, that book is my favorite book I've ever written. I mean it. It's a piece of literature, that story. It really is. The way it's written, the time, the elements, that it's really a piece. I love that book. And it comes from my living experience. I mean, I was on that plane. You know, it's not something I wrote about what happened to Rudy. You know, I was there with him when this thing took place. And it's just about probably the most favorite thing I ever wrote, hardest thing I ever wrote, because I really had to go deep inside and tap some energies and the guts to do it, you know, to truly tell a true story about what happened. And also that book is really a book about what the relationship is between a student and a teacher, because that's really what that book is about. That story is about the relationship between a student and a teacher, how profound that relationship is, and how it's a relationship that really has to do with, you know, surrender to God, because otherwise it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. And I mean, that's the underlying theme of that story. The connection I had with Rudy, how profound it was, how I grew because of it, his teachings, you know, I mean, it's really almost should be read that way, to be seen as something of that nature. And I would say,
Bruce,
most,
Stuart, it comes through in that way. It's really powerful, and the suspense mixed with the enchantment, mixed with the truth and the love you have for him and he has for you, and it's incredible. I'm really mesmerized in a beautiful way while I'm still reading it. I haven't finished it yet.
yeah, well, thank you, Wendy. And I can tell you, I love writing that book. It had to be written, and it required very deep surrender on my part to allow that book to come through me the way it came through, instead of just being like stagnant essays, you know, about, well, this is what happened, but kind of a living experience of it. Thank you. God bless you, dear. Thank you very much, because
Thank you.
nice to be appreciated, even at this point in my life. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay. God bless you all. Thank you. And again, I love doing this. I love the questions. I love the classes. I respect the fact that all of you come and do this, that you come and spend your time, you know, trying to learn how to grow spiritually. And that really touches me very deeply. And God bless you all and thank you. And, you know, there'll be a class on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to it, and being with you. And bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart, for your teachings.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Stuart.
very much.
Bye.
Stuart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.